Nintendo.
Mario Brothers is a 1983 platform game developed and published for arcades by Nintendo. It was designed by Shigeru Miyamoto and Gunpei Yokoi, Nintendo's chief engineer. The game is about Italian twin brother plumbers named Mario and Luigi, who exterminate creatures emerging from the sewers by knocking them upside down and kicking them away. The Famicom/Nintendo Entertainment System version is the first game produced by Intelligent Systems. It is part of the Mario franchise, but originally began as a spin-off from the Donkey Kong series. The game was received positively by critics. Elements introduced in Mario Brothers, such as spinning bonus coins, turtles, which can be flipped onto their backs, and Luigi, were carried over to the Super Mario Bros. 1985 game and became staples of the series. So, this is not the first game that had Mario in it. That was Donkey Kong. But this was Mario's first Mario game, and it wasn't Super Mario Bros., it was just Mario Brothers. I know this game best from the Atari 2600 version, which plays exactly pretty much like the Nintendo version, except much worse graphics and probably sound as well. It's been a while since I played it. But when we had the Atari, we had Mario Brothers, and my brother and I played it a lot. It was a very fun game, single player, but again, it was definitely more fun as a two-player game. Never played it on the Nintendo until I played it for this review, and yeah, the graphics are better, sound's probably better. I think it handles almost the same, maybe better, but a little bit strange as I'm used to playing it on the Atari. Even though it was 30 plus years ago I played it on the Atari, that is the system that I remember it on. I can't give this a great, but I can still say it's a very good game. On the Atari, this was a great game. On the Nintendo, though, it is just a very good game, as the Nintendo had already shown with Super Mario Bros. It was capable of so much more, and the Nintendo showed that many, many times.
Nintendo.
Popeye is a 1982 arcade platform game developed and released by Nintendo based on the comic strip of the same name, created by E.C. Seeger and licensed from King Features Syndicate. Some sources claim that Ikegami Tsusinki did programming work on the game. Some sources claim. The game was licensed by Atari for exclusive release in the United Kingdom and Ireland in an Atari-designed cabinet. Nintendo ported the game to the Famicom, while Parker Brothers published versions for other home systems. Popeye was designed by Genyo Takeda and Shigeru Miyamoto. The Popeye characters were originally slated for the game that became Donkey Kong, starring Mario, Donkey Kong, and Pauline, but Nintendo was unable to license them at that time. Parker Brothers ported the game to the Atari 8-bit family, including the Atari 2600, and a whole bunch of other systems, including one of the few games ported to the Odyssey 2. That's pretty amazing. On July 15, 1983, Popeye was one of the 3 launch games for the family computer with Donkey Kong and Donkey Kong Jr. I did not know that Popeye was one of the launch games for the Nintendo or the Famicom in Japan. That is kind of a neat fact. Again, this game, like Mario Brothers, is a game that I first played on Atari. One of my favorite games on the Atari 2600. It is a one-player game, not a two-player game, like Mario Brothers. Mario Brothers was fun as a one-player game. Way more fun as a two-player game. Popeye, only a one-player game that I remember. Pretty sure it was just a one-player game in all versions. Anyway, I really like the game on the Atari. Never played it on the Nintendo. Playing it on the Nintendo, again, like Mario Brothers, improved graphics and sound. Gameplay is almost identical, that I can tell, remember, and recall. Gameplay is pretty much the same. So again, I can just say the game is very good on the Atari 2600. Popeye is a great. On the Nintendo, it is just very good. Same reason as Mario Brothers. Super Mario Brothers showed that the Nintendo could do so much more. Very good for Popeye on the NES. Balloon Fight is an action video game developed by Nintendo. The original arcade version was released for the Nintendo Verse system internationally as Verse Balloon Fight, while its Nintendo Entertainment System counterpart was released in Japan in 1985 and internationally in 1986. The gameplay is very similar to the 1982 game Joust from William Electronics. The home Nintendo Entertainment System version was ported to a few other systems, and being available on Virtual Console and NES Classic Edition, and is available on the Nintendo Switch Online store, or Nintendo Switch Online. Again, this is a Nintendo-made game for a Nintendo system. It plays very well. It's a whole lot of fun as a one-player game. Way more fun as a two-player game. It is a little bit better probably than Joust, but it came out a few years later than Joust. So it's basically taking Joust and just tweaking it a little bit, which I don't really care for. I don't like that. I guess you get a better game overall, but I played Joust a whole lot on the Atari 2600 and a few other systems before the Nintendo. Joust is a favorite game of mine, and I almost don't like this game because it is a Joust ripoff. However, it is done very well and is a lot of fun, so I can't hate this game. But it is not a great game. It is a very good game, like the last two games that I've reviewed, Mario Brothers and Popeye. All three Nintendo-made games for the Nintendo system, so they're going to be very good games. I would recommend anybody who has a Nintendo collection should own these games. I don't know, they're probably very expensive now. I'm not sure, maybe they're cheap, but definitely worth playing these games. All three of them still, in my opinion, as they're all a lot of fun, especially in two players, the Mario and Balloon Fight games. Hello.